In this video, we want to add the order system to our e-commerce app with Django and Python. Hey guys, John Alder here from Codemy.com, and in the last video, we set up the billing form for our orders. In this video, we want to take that billing information and the shipping information from the prior video and create an actual order in the system. You may remember several weeks ago, we set up an order and an order item model in our app. Now it's time to connect that to our forms for the user checkout experience. So we're going to start chipping away on that in this video. So let's head over to our code. I'm using the Sublime Text Editor and the Get Bash terminal as always. And as always, you can find a link to the code in the pinned comment section below, as well as a link to the playlist with all the other videos in this Django e-commerce series. So check that out if you haven't so far. And if you like this video and want to see more like it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out Codemy.com, where I have dozens of courses with thousands of videos that teach you to code. Use coupon code YouTube50 to get 50% off lifetime memberships, all my courses, videos, and books for a one-time fee, which is insanely cheap. Okay, so before we get started, let's just head back over to the website real quick, do a quick recap. So I'm logged in. We can click on cart. We've got a couple of items. We click on checkout. We've got our shipping stuff already in there. We click to billing. We come down here. Now we need to fill out this and do something. Now this Pay Now button doesn't actually go anywhere yet, so we need to sort of do that in this video and some other things as well. So let's head back over to our code and let's go to our billing info page. And if we come down here and find that button, you'll see it's not even a button, it's an ahref. So we need to change this to a button. So let's go button with a type equal to submit. And then instead of this being an A tag, this will be a closing button tag. So maybe we'll put this on its own line so it's easier to read. Okay, so now we also need to make this into an actual working form. So let's go form and let's go method equals post. And let's give this an action of something. We'll get back to that. And we also, as always, need a CSRF underscore token, which is a cross-site request forgery token, so hackers can't get us. And then underneath this button, we need to close our form tag. All right, so now we need to point this to somewhere. And we don't want to, I mentioned in the last video, we don't want to send this back to its own page because we want to process the order. And we're not saving this information. We're not saving the billing information onto our server. We're going to send it off to our processor, not in this video, in a few videos from now. But eventually, we'll send it off to our credit card processor, whether that be Stripe or PayPal or whatever. And we don't want to save that information on our server because there's all kinds of laws involved in that. And we don't want to mess with it. You just don't ever want to. Nobody does. You let the credit card processors mess with all that stuff. But we need to process this in some way, so we need to send it somewhere. Where do we want to send it? Well, let's send it to a page called process underscore order, because we still need to create an order in the system, right? We're not just taking their information and sending it off to Stripe. We need to account for it on our server so we know they've bought something from us that we could ship it out to them, right? So let's create this process order system now. So go ahead and save that. And let me just head back. Well, we can't yet because we haven't created this yet. So let's knock this page out real quick. Let's head over to our urls.py file and let's give this a path. And we want to call this process underscore order. This is going to point to views dot process underscore order, and the name will be process underscore order. Don't forget your comma at the end. So, okay, go ahead and save that. Now we also need a template file. So let's create a new file. And let's go files, save as, and we want to call this process underscore order .html. And that looks good. Let's grab our billing page here and just kind of paste it over here. And up here, let's just say processing order ... This is temporary. We're going to change this later, right? Because eventually we're going to hook up to our payment processor. We're going to change this all around. But for now, we just need a page to throw something up so that we can redirect and do stuff. So, okay, we've got this process underscore order.html page. Now we need a view. So let's come down to our views.py file. And let's define process underscore order. I'm going to pass in a request. And that's good. When we fill out this billing info page, we're pressing the button and submitting the form, right? So we need to make sure somebody did that. So let's go if request.post, else, otherwise they just went to that page. And we talked about this in the last video. We can't have that. So let's do this same thing. We're going to send them back to the home page with a little thing that says access denied. So, okay, otherwise they have filled out the form. They're moving along in the sort of system here. Now, remember, in the last video, they filled out the payment form in there on that page, right? So if we head back over here real quick, let's see, this billing info page, they're filling out this billing info. We call that the payment form, this form right here, right? I've just got gobbledygook in there for now, but we need to now kind of account for that. So let's create a payment underscore form, and that's going to be our payment form, and this is going to be a request dot post or none. So let's get billing info from the last page. Now we also have all this shipping stuff, and we keep kind of pushing that shipping stuff around. But in the last video, we have the shipping information here, but this is the form, the billing info. So the stuff in this form right here is what's getting sent to the next page, not all this old shipping info stuff that we've been sort of carrying along. So let's create a quick session to save this stuff on the view and then pass it back to our other view so that we can do stuff with it, because we're going to need to do stuff with it. Get shipping stuff, or get shipping session data. Now, we can use sessions. We're already using sessions to do our cart stuff. And you remember way back at the beginning in our, let's see, not in our store, what did we call our ecom settings.py file? We have this middleware that is this session middleware that gets automatically added when you create your project, and it allows us to create sessions, right? So we can create a quick session down here in our billing info page, because remember, along the way, if we go back, I know this is getting complicated. I have to keep referring back. So let's say we go to our cart. We can't, but let me stop this before we get an error. We click the cart thing. It goes to the checkout. We fill out our shipping info, or the stuff is in the database because we're a logged in user, right? Either way, we click this to go forward, and this stuff is getting posted to this billing info page. It's this request.post. Well, while we're at it, let's come down here and create a session with shipping info. And we can do that very easily. Let's grab all of the stuff that they posted when they filled out that form, and let's add it to a variable called myShipping, right? And that's just going to be our request.post. Remember, we did logic to make sure there is one, right? So now all of that stuff from that form is added to this variable. We can now add that to a session. So we can go request.session. It's super easy with Django. We could just pass in this my_shipping variable as like that. So now we have a session called this that we can reference in our other views. This is very cool, right? Maybe we should have done this earlier, but we're doing it now. And so now we can reference that up here. So let's do that. Let's get that stuff again now that it's been saved. So I'm just going to call myShipping. We're going to set that up as the variable. And then that's just going to be our request.session.get. And then we just pass in the thing we want. So okay, I think that should work just fine. So we can make sure this works by printing out our my_shipping. If we save this, now also let's add a little something here so that it returns something. And let's have this say order placed. We have not placed an order yet, but we need something. So we'll just put that there for now. Right, that should work. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this and head back over here and hit reload. Okay, that's good. We've got our shipping info. We continue on to our billing. This page comes up. This is our billing info, right? Now this stuff has been saved to a session. So then we come down here and we fill this out, blah, blah, blah. Now we pay now. It goes back to our home page. It says order placed. Now, if we come back to our terminal and Control-C to break out of here, remember we printed it. You can see, sure enough, here it is. Our shipping full name, shipping email, shipping address 1, shipping address 2, all of that good stuff. And all right, we're good to go. So let's run our server again. So what that means is now we have our access to our shipping stuff. So we don't need to print that every time. So that's good. Okay, so now what do we need to do? We need to create an order in the system. And if you remember, let's see if we go back to our models.py file in our payment app, we have this order model and order items. The order model is the order, right? The order items are the items in that order. So let's say we had 3 books. Each of those books will be an order item. So in this video, we're just going to make the overriding order in the system. So they click the button to pay, an order gets created. That order needs the user if they're logged in, or it can be blank if they're not logged in, right? It also needs their full name, first and last, their email, their shipping address, the amount paid, and the date ordered. This shipping address is a text field. And you'll notice there is no address 1, address 2, city, state, zip code. I'm just going to smush it all in because, realistically, you probably want a shipping address. So if you're doing like a label or something, you just print out the whole thing, the city, state, zip code, address, all of it, address 1, address 2, everything. So we need to kind of generate that from, let's see, this my shipping stuff, right? So let's create shipping address from session info, right? So I'm going to call this shipping underscore address, and we're going to set that equal to, and this is going to be a whole long thing, right? We know inside of our session here, we have address 1, address 2, city, state, zip. Now we just need to concatenate it all together into one variable, right? So let's create an F string to do that. Now I'm using double quotes. Inside of here, we're going to use single quotes. So kind of keep that in mind. So we'll start out, we need the address 1, we need a line break, address 2, a line break, city, right? Then a line break, state, then a line break, zip code, then a line break, and finally country and a line break. So inside of here, these are going to be my shipping. Remember, this is a dictionary. Now, normally with object-oriented stuff, you would just call out dot and then whatever the thing is. Remember down here, it's shipping underscore full name, shipping underscore email, shipping underscore address 1, shipping underscore address 2. So for instance, if we want shipping address 1, normally that would be shipping underscore address 1. But that won't work here. We need to actually go old school. Instead of a period, do the actual sort of dictionary notation, right? So that's just kind of how that is. So shipping address 1, and let me just kind of copy this to make it faster. And then inside of here, let's put it like this. Okay, so then I can copy this, and this is going to be shipping underscore address 2. Don't forget your single quote, because outside of here, we're using double quotes. So inside, we have to use single, or vice versa. You could use single quotes here. In that case, you would use double quotes inside of here. So, all right, so shipping address 1, address 2. This is going to be my shipping underscore city, right? This one's going to be shipping underscore state. This one's going to be shipping underscore zip code. And this one is going to be shipping underscore country. Okay, so that looks good. Now let's go ahead and print this out to make sure we didn't mess that up, because it's entirely possible that I did. That's a lot of convoluted stuff all together, and it's kind of hard to read. So let's just print this out. So let's come back over here, save this, head back over here, and let's go through this again. We want to check out. Here's our shipping info. Here's our billing info. I'll just put a bunch of garbage. Pay now. It says order placed. Come back over here and Control-C to break out of here. We see we have this nice shipping address, right? And it's one item per line because we used line breaks. It looks like a shipping address. So, all right, we're moving right along. Well, what else do we need? If we head back to our models.py file and look at our order, we need the user, full name, email, shipping address. We knocked that out. Amount paid and date ordered. I don't think we really need to worry about the date order because this will auto add now automatically for us. It should. We'll make sure in a minute. But we do need the user, the full name, and the email address, and the amount paid. So let's let's make a comment here and let's create, or let's gather order info, right? So what do we need? We need the user. So let's set a user equal. This is going to be request.user. But is it? Oh, we have to make sure the user is logged in first. So let's up here, let's create a variable. Well, actually, let's do this underneath here. Let's go, and we don't need to print this anymore. Let's go if request.user.is_authenticated. We want to grab the user. Else, let's say not logged in. I'll just pass for now. And up here, let's say logged in. Either way, we can gather the rest of our order information outside of this logic, right? So let me just get rid of this for now, push it down a little bit. So, okay, we've got our shipping address. So we need our user. We've got that if we're logged in. If not, we're not going to have that because there is no user if you're not logged in, right? And it's okay if somebody wants to order something without setting up a user account and logging in and all that stuff. So, okay, what else do we need? Well, we need the full name. Copy this. And let's just come down here and start doing this. There we go. That full name equals, we'll fill this out in a second. We need the email equal to something. We need the amount paid underneath the shipping address. So there we go, shipping address and amount paid. Where are we getting this information? Remember, before this page, we click the form to submit it. So all of that stuff will be in the request, right? So we can call the billing info, but we don't really want the billing info, right? This is the shipping stuff. Because if you remember our order, well, we've been looking at it, but the order has the shipping address, so we want the shipping full name. We don't want the billing name. It may be different if they're sending it off. Why is that? Because like I said, all of our billing stuff is going to go off to Stripe or whatever credit card processor we use. This order model right here is just for the order itself. It's just for our purposes so we can ship it out. So we want the shipping stuff, right? Well, the shipping stuff is going to be in our session here that we created at the beginning of this video. So that's going to be my shipping. And then this is going to be shipping underscore full underscore name. Same thing here. It's going to be my underscore shipping. And it's going to be shipping underscore email. And the amount paid, we need to get that from our cart stuff. So let's go ahead and just grab all of our cart stuff again. So let's see, inside of here, do that. And the total amount paid is going to be our totals. It's our cart total, right? So that's just totals. Okay, so here we've got all of this information. Now let's create an order. Well, in order to do that, we need to either be logged in or not. So here we are logged in. We've got our user. How do we actually create an order? Well, let's go create. Well, before we do that, we need to access this order and this order item eventually in this models.py file. So we need to import it. All right. So up here, let's see, from payment.models, we need our order and our order item. Is that order item or order items? Order item. So order and order item. We also need the user. So that's going to be from Django dot contrib dot auth authentication dot models. We want to import our user. So that will allow us to grab the request.user, I suppose. Well, we don't really need that. Well, let's do it just in case because we're going to be adding it to the model, right? Foreign key user needs to be all connected. We have imported it here, so we should be fine. But just in case, I'm going to leave that there. We definitely do need the order and the order item. So let's come down here and create an order. So here we're logged in. What do we want to call this? Well, it really doesn't matter. Let's create order. And I'm going to call it create underscore order. So here, let's set that equal to an order model. And now we can set the user to our user, which is this guy right here. So we need the user. We also need a full name, email, shipping address, and amount paid. So let's just knock all these out. So let's go full name equals full underscore name. And I'm getting all these because we defined them all right here. So we're just passing these variables into this order. So we do full name, comma, email equals email, comma. We need our shipping underscore address, and that will be our shipping underscore address. And we need our amount underscore paid, and that's just going to be our amount underscore paid. So there we go. And again, I'm just getting all of those values from right here where we gathered our information. So now we've got this. Now we can just save it in the normal way just by calling create underscore order dot save. So let's copy this down here. But here we're not going to have a user because they're not logged in. So they're just going to be a full name. So, okay, that looks good. Now we need to pass these back. So let me just do that and also that. Okay, for now, we'll just redirect to the home page and say order placed. It's not going to be placed, but we need something there. So, okay, this is starting to get away from us. So if request.post, we want to do all this stuff. We really don't need that, I think, because, let's see, we're redirecting both of those either way. So I think we can get rid of that. Else they're not moving along in the system posting forms and we give them an access denied. So all right, let's save this. We did a lot there. Let's see if this actually does something. So I'm going to start over, go to our cart page, and we're getting an error. All right, what did we do? Let's see. Oh, I misspelled Django. That'll do it. Sure enough, Django-y. All right, let's try this again. Okay, so we've got our cart. We click on this. We go to checkout. Got our shipping info. We go to billing. We need something, so I'll just put some stuff in here because we're not really processing this stuff yet. We click pay now. It says order place. Did it work? Well, let's go to the admin section and see. And we have orders. And here we have order 2. Admin, John Elder, paid $46.97. If we look at our cart, sure enough, that's $46.97. Now, we're also going to need to eventually set up a thing that clears out the cart after we've processed the order. We'll take care of that later. But okay, I think that worked. Seems to have, right? Let's log out and let's add one book, $21.98, add it to the cart. Let's try now to check out. We need Josh Elder. I don't know. Josh at josh.com. My house 10 at Las Vegas, Nevada, zip code 88888, USA. Continue to billing. Sure enough. Let's do all of this. All of this stuff has been added to our shipping info, even though we're not logged in. Now, if we pay now, it goes back to order placed. Let's come back here. Is there a third one? We have to log back in as admin. There we go. Oh, we get an order 3. Sure enough, there is no user because there is no user. That's fine. We have their name, Josh Elder. We have their email. We have this. No address to because we didn't have an address to, but everything else is correct. $21.98 is how much we paid. Well, we can't see because we're logged in. Oh, yeah, we're still good there. $21.98, and it works. So, okay, we've created now an order. Everything seems to be working. Next, we need to create an order item that has all of the order items. So if we ordered one book, there will be one book, and it will be added to an order in the list here. If there's 5 books, each of those books will be another order item, and each of those 5 things will be added to the order. And we'll start to look at that in the next video. But we are moving right along, and pretty cool. So very interesting. We're using sessions in this to move our shipping information over. We're now sort of manually adding something to a model to the database. Before, it was always like we filled out a form and then used that form information to add something to the database. Here, we are definitely not doing that. We are just kind of manually adding our own thing, our own order, and we're good to go. Now, if you're curious how this is going to work, in this same area here, we'll also do this sort of same thing with the order items, and we'll create order items and associate them. And then after that gets done, we'll deal with the billing information, the credit card number and all that. We'll start to set up Stripe processing or PayPal processing or whatever whatever we end up doing. So we're getting pretty close to that, which is going to be fun. And we're moving right along. So that's all for this video. If you liked it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out codemy.com where you can use coupon code YouTube50 to get 50% off lifetime membership. So that's access to all my courses, over 60 courses, thousands of videos, and the PDFs of all my best-selling coding books. Join over 200,000 students learning to code just like you. My name is John Elder from codemy.com, and I'll see you in the next video.